This past weekend, the kiddo and I went on a 2-day camping trip for some father-son bonding time. My wife doesn't like camping herself at all anymore and doesn't even appreciate our kid and I going. This is a big hobby for me and I want to share with my son. Usually we argue a lot about my trips, especially if I request to bring our child, but this time she was oddly cooperative about the whole thing, but still insisted she wouldn't join us. I was surprised, but didn't question anything because I was so excited that she was finally allowing us to go, and I didn't want her to change her mind. I thought we had finally found a common ground and the arguments were ending. I was wrong. We had a great trip and returned back on Monday. We expected to come home to an empty house as my wife should have been at her office for a few more hours. I walked the kid up to his room as he was exhausted and ready for a nap. After, I walked into our bedroom to find a naked man in my bed. I recognized him as my wife's co-worker, whom I have met numerous times at her work functions. At first I was in disbelief and even wondered if I was in the right house. Then my wife walked out of our bathroom, also naked, and I had no more doubts. She looked petrified when she saw me. I have never been so angry. I yelled at the dude to get out of my house so I could speak to my wife. He grabbed his clothes and left. Then we started arguing. I never yell at my wife. We always want to keep things civil for our son, but I was so hurt I was screaming. Then my wife decides to get defensive, saying it's not her fault that I am barely around in camp so much, even though I hardly go on trips anymore because she doesn't like it. She says, "That's what drove me to do this. Your neglect to this family." I was in tears at that point. I just don't understand how her cheating could be my fault. When I turned around to leave, my son was standing in the doorway, and I felt terrible for yelling. I quickly consoled him, but my wife snapped at me again, telling me to get my hands off him. Now she won't speak to me and says I can't see my child until I apologize. Apologize for what? She said we could go on this trip. She planned to cheat, and that kills me. It makes me wonder if she has done this before. I'm stuck staying with my parents right now. I don't know what to do. I want to see my son. I'm worried I really scared my child, and of course I would apologize to him, just not my wife, but maybe it is my fault. Update. I'm back home now, decided it was best to get here ASAP. Things are quiet, but I'm relieved to be back in the same space as my son. Thank you all for the advice and kind words. It means so much. I'll keep you all updated if you'd like. Thank you all again for the support. I appreciate it. Sorry I can't reply to everyone. There's a lot of you and things are tough right now, but thank you so much. Update 2. Hello again, everyone. Sorry for my absence. I have been busy. I posted a more in-depth update on my account if anyone is curious. In short, divorce is in the works as well as custody of my son. Second post. This is a follow-up to my last post about my cheating wife. For the past week, I have been working with a lawyer to initiate the process of divorce and gaining full custody of my son, with the exception of visitation for now until more is resolved. Things were awkward and tense for the first few days of me being back home, so my wife, using wife to keep things simple and identities private, decided to leave to stay with the guy I found naked with her. I'm disappointed at the example she's setting for our son, but this makes my decision to divorce even more concrete. I will continue to share as much as I can if that's what people would like, but of course, court has its confidentialities that I must keep within boundaries of. I want to thank everyone for the continued support you all have shown me throughout this tough time in my life. I really do appreciate it. Edit. I just want to note, please don't just blame women. Use this situation to be misogynistic. Third and current post. My now ex-wife revealed she is pregnant with a man she cheated with and no longer wants to see our child. This is another, and most likely final, update about my ex. See my past posts for more information if you'd like. I expected my last update to be the final post regarding my marriage, but this felt like a necessary thing to share. Last week I received several texts from my ex saying she was pregnant with an unknown man's child. obviously meaning she cheated with multiple other people before the one I found out about. She said she plans to keep the baby and start a family with her co-worker. Other posts have context. She also mentioned that she wouldn't be fighting me for custody of our son. I told her I would be willing to split the custody or at least keep visitation rights for the sake of the kiddo, but she insisted she didn't care about that anymore. I am honestly in awe. I'm shocked she has given up on everything about the family we had, but I am most hurt for my son. At the end of the day, she isn't worth wasting any more of my energy on. I've been spending every moment I can with my kid and will continue to do so. I'm starting to feel more like myself again, and I can't wait to get back into adventures in nature. I'd like to say a final thanks to everyone for the support and encouragement. I will always be grateful for that. Tobias, out for now.
I'll give it a few months before the ex-wife comes crawling back because the side piece will cheat on her. If they'll cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. The grass isn't greener on the other side, social pressure. Maybe once others find out, especially their workplace, it'll put a strain on the whole affair. The co-worker isn't the father and kicks her ass to the curb. I just hope OOP doesn't get a moment of weakness and takes her back. Why let a disease into his life again? She clearly doesn't care about him, or most importantly, their child. She dropped her own kid like he was a bag of sand.
Too many stories like this involve the husband trying to stay together with the cheating wife. Good to see one where that piece of human garbage gets kicked to the curb. Doesn't get more scummy than disowning your own son as well. Fuck.
I've never understood parents who can abandon their children when they leave the relationship. The children are innocent. I do wonder, and it's not always the case, if she never wanted to be a mom or if the child came first. I've seen a lot of parental abandonment in situations where the child was the only reason the couple was together. Poor kiddo and poor husband. No one deserves to be cheated on, even if there are things the partner is doing that makes you want to seek those things outside of the relationship. Better to break it off than to destroy the other person and your children in the process.
If Oppie reads this, I have been a single parent for almost 7 years. It is hard at first, unless you are financially stable, but after everything gets stable, it is wonderful. I get to spend a ton of time with my kids, and I get to do whatever I want with them when I want. And I'm a much happier person without my ex-wife. But I'll need to prepare for the hard questions that are going to come. This kid will want to know why his mother doesn't see him, and why she isn't around. The kid will even ask to call them, or write them letters. My daughter's mother has zero to do with her, and she wants a mom so bad it hurts. It pains me to my core when she asks me these things, and there is not a good answer besides that you are loved, and a dad can be enough.
I can see the wife's point a teeny tiny bit because I have a husband who thinks he only spends a little bit of time on his hobby, when in reality, it's from the 1st of August until maybe April. I get 2 complete days of his time in that time period, and he's gone hunting, his hobby, on the morning of my birthday and anniversary. If he's not hunting, he's reloading, testing loads. Yes, I could go hunting with him and be miserable. It's not my thing, and even it was, he and his friends are shot hogs and don't give new hunters a break, and I get sick every single time I eat food at his friend's house. No, I would never cheat, but I don't really appreciate being basically abandoned from August to April.
Final thoughts. Some of the details in this sordid tale feel kind of trope-I, but for the most part, OOP has engaged with enough commenters for long enough that I'm willing to assume this situation really did happen. And in that case, I give it until the end the year before his ex comes crawling back. Girl has issues that won't be solved by formally dating her AP, especially if the paternity of the fetus is uncertain. marked as ongoing because there are still legal matters to sort out, and it seems that OOP is using the subreddit as a place to vent and gather advice.